Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about Knull from the King in Black 2-pack. Oh my goodness, this is one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Does he live up to expectations? Well, we're going to find out right now. First of all, before we get to the figure, let's take a look at the box. The package without the plastic. The plastic-free is the term I was looking for. Plastic-free boxes. This is the world we are living in now. And you know what? It's okay. It's fine. Walking into a store and not seeing the figures like they're looking at you is not going to be as fun because there's something sort of magical about that. I get the same feeling I get when I walk into a theme park and you see all the roller coasters and it's like, oh, I want to go on all of those. Whereas this is like, oh, it looks exactly like the picture I saw on the internet. So it's not quite got that same thrill. And then when you open this up, like the figures are in body bags, it looks very underwhelming. But what's important is what's inside. And what's inside is a big, chunky boy. This is the god of the symbiotes that the symbiotes deserve. So first of all, Knull, if you're not familiar, like the name implies, he is the original King in Black, the man who was the progenitor, is that the right word, of all the other symbiotes. So Carnage, basically, he was in a dormant slumber. Carnage wakes him up, he comes to Earth and is like, nice planet, I'll take it. And of course, fighty then happens. And this dude, I really like what they've done with him. So first of all, he's big. He's a big dude. He feels like a builder figure. You know, this is an expensive 2-pack, but in there you get a lot of plastic and a lot of action figure for your buck. So that's what I really appreciate. So he is tall. I've got just randomly Mary Jane here from the Renew Your Vows 2-pack. You can see the size discrepancy here. He's big, he's imposing, he towers over everyone. So that's really nice to see. I'm going to take his sword out of his hand so we can take a proper look here. So of course, everything here, all original sculpting. No reuse here at all. Stop me if I'm wrong, but I think this is all new stuff. Now, the first thing that kind of strikes me is, of course, he does look a bit plain. And I saw that when I was looking at the pictures online as well. Of course, he's the King in Black. Here it's more the King in Charcoal, which is fine because, again, that's what he looks like in the comics. Very difficult to kind of spruce up a character whose main prominent feature is darkness. So he's not exactly gonna pop off the shelf, but they have done a very faithful job of recreating him. First of all, the two heads. This is always going to be my favorite one to go for, the grinning, mean, nasty looking head. But what I can say, in person, in hand, you can actually make out more of the shadows and the details and the wrinkles and the lines. Because in a static picture online, or even some random YouTube video review, you can't really necessarily see how much detail is in here. It's a lot. It's a lot of detail going on with this guy. I love the huge, big teeth with the spikes. They look vicious. And I like that with the design of the character, he doesn't really have any lips going on here. So you would have thought he would talk more like this. He would sound like Nicolas Cage in Face Off whenever he talks. But actually, because he's the god of the symbiotes, he kind of has sort of morphing abilities, so he can make lips whenever he wants to talk. And when he wants to look mean, he can look mean. And going with that also, just the tiny little pinprick red eyes looks really suitable, really sinister. Love the flowing, long, glorious locks. I can understand and associate with those. And there's a little bit of a wash on there so that you can get a little bit of shadow and shading going on, I think. It's not just a pearly white. Same with the face itself. It's not just a flat grey. There's a little bit of shading there just to bring out his cheekbones and make it stand out more. So actually, like I'm saying, in person, when you got some light shining and some shadows casting across the face, looks very effective. Now with the rest of the body going down, you can see the shoulder pads in the armor are actually separate pieces. So you can move the arms up and down more. You got a nice amount of articulation there, more so than I was expecting. And also, what's a good little touch is that these shoulder pads don't feel too flimsy. either, because it's very easy when you're going to have them as separate pieces to have them hanging on by the teeniest, tiniest little bit of plastic, and it feels like a stiff breeze would flick them off. These actually feel quite secure. Then we got the lovely, the most colour on the entire figure is this Symbiote Design here. And a few people who aren't familiar with the King in Black story, understandably, are asking like, why does the God of the Symbiotes have the Spider-Man symbol? Like, that doesn't compute. This was a fun little retcon, where actually they've said, this design isn't a Spider-Man symbol. This is a symbiote dragon. These aren't legs, these are wings here. And this going down is the dragon tail. It just coincidentally looks like the spider symbol. Because when Spider-Man first got the black costume, he thought the spider symbol was there because he subconsciously saw Spider-Woman and was like, oh, that symbol looks cool for a spider. And that's what we always kind of accepted. Whereas now, no, the symbiote has this design anyway because it's the symbol for the God of the Symbiotes. That's kind of cool. It's a clever little retcon. I dig it. So then going down the rest of here, he's got, yeah, his little tunic skirt kind of bit, and then the very medieval looking armor boots. But also, if you look up on his thighs, you can see there's actually like muscle and sinew sculpted on here. That's really nice. That's really cool. I dig that. Now, one thing I would have kind of liked, but would it have been accurate, is just more variance in the color. There's a lighter grey on the armor and then a darker grey on the body, but still there's not much depth to it. He does look kind of plain, but again, it's kind of the design, so it is what it is. It's faithful to the character, so you can't be mad about that. Then of course we've got the Necro Sword, and this is fine. It does have a very plasticky kind of look to it. It's a very soft plastic. It's a very wibbly wobbly sword, but you know, that's okay. At a distance, it still looks kind of cool. The fact that it has the Carnage style red tendrils coming off of it, that's badass. I'll give credit where it's due. That looks really, really cool. So that's kind of nice. And then we have the other Knull head as well. So I'll pop this one off and whack on, biggity bam, the more stoic, the proper regal King in Black kind of look. And this is actually very nice as well. I like the more animated kind of face, but to have the options of this more relaxed kind of look, very cool. And you can see he's grown himself some lips as well, which is fine because, as I said, he has morphing type abilities. He's basically a giant symbiote kind of creature, which brings me to the next point. Venom in the 2-pack comes with these lovely wings, which are nice, but they would, oh, it would be so cool if you could put the wings on Knull, because he can grow wings as well. I'd much rather have a regular Venom and then have the ability to have Knull looking even more like a badass with the wings, but c'est la vie. And just so you can see him stacked up next to his counterpart here in the King in Black 2-pack, he and Venom, boy, they make an impressive looking pair. They really, really do. And they should do, because this is an expensive 2-pack. But if you throw in the black costume Spider-Man here on the retro buck as well, you can see how big and chunky and chonky these guys are. So there is a lot of plastic going on here, but still, it's a lot of money you got to spend on this plastic. So really, your mileage is going to vary depending on how much you really love these characters. But honestly, as a striking pair combination, they do look really impressive. So I got to give credit where it's due. You do get some nice bang for your buck here. Still, this figure's very, very nice. And as far as articulation goes, as I said, you can get him with the double jointed knees. You've got the elbows going on here that are double jointed also. You can twist him around and move with the torso and ab crunch as well. There's a lot of articulation you can have him in, but I mean, come on, he's the King in Black. You want to have him looking more kind of regal and badass than like a yoga contortionist. But the fact is, you can move him around quite a lot. And that's sort of nice. So you know what? Let's give him a grade. So for Knull, the God of the Symbiotes and the King in Black, I'm going to give him a rock solid 7.5 out of 10. Now this means that he is way above average and a great action figure, but he's not amazing. Why is he not amazing? Only because he's quite expensive, and I'm thinking about what you can get for your money's worth. He's nice. He's very, very nice. He's got an extra head as well and all this original sculpting. But again, when I'm giving grades, I'm not just talking about the quality, I'm talking about how much I personally love it. And you know me, I like big and bright, colourful characters. This, by his very nature, is a dark character. He's the King in Black. Not too many surprises there. So I can't mark him down too much for being what he's supposed to be. So 7.5, that is a real great, solid, well worth it grade, because he is. With Knull here, I'm very impressed, I'm very happy, very satisfied. And sometimes that's all you need to be. So yeah, kudos Hasbro. You've done a good job with this. And folks, that does it for my review of Knull. What do you think about the King in Black? Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Did you enjoy this episode, my child? Well, wait a minute. Ah, that's better. Did you enjoy this episode, my child? Well, if you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. But if you want to really support the channel, then you can go over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior and toss a couple of bucks Dave's way. Or you can join the YouTube channel member section, where you can enjoy all the same videos and have nice little icons next to your name when he does live streams. Yes, lovely. Or, on top of that, if you want more model behavior, you can join one of Dave's 2 other channels. There is Displaying Miscellaneous Behavior, where he just rants about stuff, and also Model Behavior Wrestling, for all your wrestling needs, I guess. All right, go do that. Bye. Yeah.